Everybody has their favorite Fortnite YouTubers, their favorite Fortnite streamers, but what happens when these Fortnite YouTubers unfortunately end up leaving us? We all don't live forever, so today we are going to be predicting what exactly is going to happen, which is going to be weird because we're hopping back to the past tense. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle, I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's get into it for today, starting off with everyone's favorite YouTuber, Clix. Clix, unfortunately, is no longer with us, and that is because of our good friend on the channel, Jojo Josiah. Clix was last seen hiding from Jojo Josiah because he owes Jojo $1,000, and Jojo needs that $1,000. Jojo had enough waiting. Jojo just went to the Pro AM, met Clix there, and unfortunately, that exactly is where Clix ended up meeting his fate. My heart goes out to Clix. I am very, very sorry, and for YouTube purposes, this is completely made up. I am not being serious whatsoever, but we are going to continue the same vibe going on. Okay, let's talk about Happy Power. Now, Happy Power, guys. Unfortunately, from what I hear, and I think I've only collaborated with Happy Power twice. I was thinking about this, okay? Sorry. I forgot what I put under the tombstone. I actually forgot about that. I made this like 2 weeks ago, guys. Anyways, let's get serious because this is a very, very sad moment. Happy Power is no longer with us. We're sad today. It's a sad day. No more Happy Power. From what I hear, Happy Power is a notoriously late man for things. And I was thinking back to the times where I think it was podcasts that I did with Happy Power a couple times. I remember one of those times he was late, and I do hear that people talk about Happy Power planning with them. You have to plan like an hour later for Happy Power. So I'm thinking like Happy Power ended up getting called to court because he had an unpaid parking ticket for a very, very good reason. I heard he was saving a life. Okay, he didn't have time to look for a sign or anything like that. He showed up to court. Happy Power met an officer with too much power. They got mad at Happy Power. He showed up late to court. Decided to take care of him. It was a very, very horrible situation. My heart goes out to Happy Power. Heard he saved a lot of cats and a kid in a tree, something like that. He is a hero. Now let's talk about Cyan. Speaking of heroes, let me sit you down for a second, guys, okay? You sit down and predict how Cyan went. There's been a couple scares over the career of Cyan, but unfortunately, one ended up, he didn't get to escape it, okay? Cyan was last seen at Epic Games HQ, cause of death, doxxed by X. You know how everybody pays a little too much attention to what Cyan has to say on Twitter? Cyan can say, hello everybody, how are you today? And everybody will be like, please leave. Please. Don't come back. Somebody decided to take that a little bit too far and unfortunately made sure that Cyan left permanently. It's a very, very sad day and we are missing a lot of Fortnite YouTubers, guys. We're running out of people to stream with over here. Now, let's talk about Clark Clint Gaming. A very, very generous man, okay? Goes to GameStop all the time. He picks up V-Buck cards. He makes GameStop sell out of V-Bucks cards to give away to his phenomenal community. Unfortunately, there was a Karen at a GameStop one day, and Clark met his fate because he is such a good man. All he wanted to do was pick up all the V-Bucks cards possible to give away to his community on stream. It was a very, very generous and fantastic thing to do. But a Karen brought her little boy to go pick up some V-Bucks cards. She saw Clark with all of them cashing out. She asked him if he could have one, and Clark said, no, I need to give this to my fantastic community, and please, come onto the stream. I would love to give you one. You know what? Maybe I'll give you a couple extra entries into the giveaway, little boy. And the mom didn't like that too much. Unfortunately, she went the Happy Power route and took out Clark Clint. Clark laying on the ground, lifeless at a GameStop. It was very, very sad. Of course, he was last seen building model trains before exiting his house. I'm going to miss him with all of my heart. This is a very, very sad day. Speaking of sad, though, let's talk about PBJ. What do you guys think happened to PBJ? PBJ was last seen in his Cybertruck, cause of death, just like Cyan X. You know how, as long as you mention that you use AI for any purpose whatsoever, you're going to get your throat split. Well, PBJ has a little bit of a habit about posting, his YouTube analytics. Maybe he used a deep research tool with AI. The wrong person saw that on their For You page and decided to take the Cyan route. I've heard, okay? Don't know if this is completely accurate, but I have heard he had the great honor of being buried in the sixth reality with Cyan. I hope that's the case. I hope PBJ had a easy time with all of his family, but unfortunately, the Cybertruck is left out. PBJ is no longer with us. We are not going to be getting any more content over on his end. Now let's talk about Dagwami. Dagwami went as you might be able to predict how Dagwami was going to go if you were a regular viewer or if you watched the streams, any of our streams from the Broke Boys, Dagwami was last seen inside UEFN and he caught the brand new plague. He is patient zero, and you guys got to be careful. You got to limit that contact because Dagwami just began the brand new plague. Worse than anything that's happened in 2020, worse than anything that's happened in human history, Dagwami is patient zero for the brand new plague. Take cover because Dagwami started a revolution of bodies that's going to go with him. Now, we just took a look at a lot of really, really sad situations. But there's one person that I can't help but feel a little bit of happiness for. Saturday morning streams, Carlitos Kaizen. We all know that he is a big fan of the Cube Queen. Carlo, he was last seen driving. His cause of death was the Cube Queen thighs. He always talks about this. He is a big fan of the Cube Queen, and while I miss him with all of my heart, at least he went with a smile on his face. That's really nice to see. That's really nice to hear about. I am happy for Carlo, although again, I will miss him. Truly. I will truly miss him. Let's talk about Ninja though. Ninja didn't get to go with a smile on his face like Carlo got to go. Ninja had cardiac arrest. Sorry. Ninja had cardiac arrest. I keep forgetting what I'm putting at the bottom there. We're going to keep the tone a little bit sad today, okay? Last seen, streaming, cause of death, cardiac arrest. Every single clip that I see from this guy, there are energy drinks upon energy drinks. Well, typically, they are for a sponsorship probably, right? But one day, he was tired. One day, he just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to empty this fridge. I'm going to prove to the world how tough I am. Unfortunately, his heart couldn't handle it. Ninja ended up taking off. Very sad to see again. Let's talk about Jojo Josiah. Jojo, after taking the life of Clicks, leaving the Pro AM on a plane, Jojo went the way that he always talks about going. And it's very sad to see, but he heard about the recent Fortnite leaks. Recycled content, his favorite season, a superhero themed season. He got all excited and unfortunately heard about that recycled content that is coming, and Jojo Josiah ended up, we won't go into the details, but he ended up taking care of himself for lack of better words. And I'm going to miss him. I already miss him. He was the last member of the Broke Boys to go, and that leaves me to carry the torch. And I can't help but feel a little bit of resentment because now it's just on my shoulders. I'm missing all three of them, and Jojo ended up leaving me alone. It's hard. It's hard, It really does suck. But let's move on to Loot Station. Loot Station has joined the creators that ended up, no longer being with us. Loot Station, always grinding the XP. Loot Station, streaming icon, YouTube icon, always helping people less fortunate than him. One day, he decided to do and try it again because it didn't work out so well the first time. There was one time where Loot Station went on a vacation, went to a hotel, posted about how cool it is. Twitter didn't like that very much. And this time, they decided to finish the job, make sure he never enters a hotel again. Loot Station recently went on another vacation, got a really nice hotel. He posted about how happy he was, how successful he is at such a young age. Looking like, hey, you know what? Maybe I can be a little bit of inspiration to people. X didn't like that very much. He met the same fate as PBJ, the same fate as Cyan. They decided to go to that hotel, and they wanted to get Loot Station so badly that they sacrificed every single person in that hotel just to get Loot Station, who was on the top floor. It was a horrible day, and you know what the worst part about was? Loot Station's remains weren't here to be buried with Cyan or PBJ. He had to just disappear. And I'm going to miss Loot Station. This is a difficult video to make. Very difficult. And I'm sorry to deliver all of this news, but Loot Station is also no longer with us. Let's continue on, guys. TwistyChase. TwistyChase didn't do anything. TwistyChase is probably the most tragic of them all. Because all he wanted to do, as the Marvel fan that he is, was go to a movie theater. And there's always that one person you hear every once in a while at a movie theater. TwistyChase was just at the wrong place, wrong time, last seen at a movie theater, cause of death, shooting. He was getting all excited because he was seeing the brand new Thunderbolts movie. Everybody was like going crazy about it, talking about what a great movie it is. He heard a gunshot, which he thought was in the movie, and he got really excited. He stood up to cheer and, took some rounds to the chest. I am also going to miss TwistyChase with all of my heart, as I will with all of these creators. Now, let's talk about Courage JD. What happened to Courage JD? Shocker. He ate too much. His veins seized up. We need to take this as a learning lesson, but just like Ninja, lied on the floor, down below. It's very sad to hear. He took a bite into salvation. Courage JD is also no longer with us now. let's talk about Hypex. Out of everybody on here, if there's one person, that is getting a lot of flack because of the millions of followers, just every once in a while, Hypex, you find him saying, like, in the internet's opinion, the wrong thing typically, okay? The same people who went after Loot Station, the same people who went after PBJ, the same people who went after Cyan, decided to circle back and take out Hypex as well. Last seen, data mining, cause of death, X. Every once in a while, you see Hypex, everybody getting mad at this guy for something that he just randomly replied to. Wrong day, wrong time. Twitter was like, absolutely not, Hypex. Not a chance today. I will see you later. But guys, you know how this video was a little bit more sad, obviously, because we miss all of our favorite creators? Well, I did make a video a long time ago saying something positive about every single Fortnite creator, and I would love to have you check out this video on screen right now, right here. Again, for YouTube purposes, this was all a joke. I hope it was an enjoyable video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care.